These fighters tried to destroy Naoya Inoue's reputation.
Japanese fighter called Monks. Monks.
No way, you are no monster. I'm a rare monster.
They wouldn't stop talking, calling him scared, weak, and pathetic, trying to damage Naoya Inoue's image and humiliate him in front of the entire boxing world.
6. Naoya Inoue. Inoue scared me. Come on. You next.
He had to fight him. They found a way to avoid it again.
Stop ducking me. One fight, Uzbek power cut.
But Naoya Inoue never showed any emotion. He remained stoic and composed amid all the chaos, quietly turning every insult and aggressive word into fuel for the day he would face them in the ring. And when that day arrived, he shattered their beliefs and punished them for trying to ruin him. This is what happens when cocky, arrogant fighters disrespect the monster. Take Stephen Fulton. On paper, it made sense: slick movement, high defensive IQ, a unified champion, a man many thought was too technically sound to be broken down.
I see me wiping him out clean. He's too small for me. He's too short. His reach isn't there. I'm not gonna sit there for those power shots all the time. It's just a lot that I can analyze off of him. He's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting him, taking anything away from him. I took my hat off, but he's not in me. I believe the same thing that happened to Neri will happen to him. When at the end of the day, I'm a smart fighter. I know how to analyze and break down my fights and my style against other fighters, other styles. So if me being honest and me saying I'm gonna win it will be cocky, then I guess I'm just cocky.
The narrative wasn't just wild trash talk, it was quiet confidence that Naoya Inoue would have trouble with someone that sharp. For a few rounds, it looked respectable. Then, Inoue adjusted. He closed the distance, targeted the body, and started cutting off space instead of chasing it. Stephen Fulton wasn't overwhelmed by chaos, he was methodically walked into exchanges that favored Inoue. By the middle rounds, the difference in speed and timing was clear. When the finish came, it didn't feel shocking.
I've been asked this a million times, but what made Inoue so difficult to figure out that night?
It wasn't that what made him difficult. It was my body wasn't allowed to do the things. Like come back. Yeah, it wasn't allowing me to do the things. I rehydrate and everything. It wouldn't allow me to do things that I wanted to do. But, you know, we'll see him when we get another belt and probably at a different weight class.
Okay.
I said I picked Inoue to win, but I thought it would be a much more closely contested fight than it was. And listen, I'm not dissing Fulton. He was just blown away by a person whom I now consider. I was wavering a little bit, you know, but I now consider after having watched that in its entirety, you're looking at a generational talent.
Yeah.
And Fulton is still a good fighter. I don't want people to start shredding him and throwing him under the bus. No, he's still a good champion. Well, ex-champion now. He's still a very good fighter who can come again. It's just that yesterday, man, he was in the presence of greatness in my...
I'm proud of the fact that I put Inoue on my pound for pound list, I don't know, 3 years ago. Whatever it was. I don't even know how long.
That's true.
And no one...
You've been on him before I even knew who he was.
Ken, no one had him anywhere near it. They basically barely knew who he was, as you just touched on. And obviously he dominated Fulton, or at least, put it this way, he established control right from the start. He made Fulton's a defensive fighter, a good counterpuncher. He made him concentrate more on defense and surviving than Fulton really wanted to early. He set...
Then came Akhmadov, and this was different. This wasn't just confidence, it was accusation. Naoya Inoue faced a full-blown campaign claiming he was avoiding him, with mandatory pressure and public interviews.
Paid for an exception to duck MJ and was cast iron in writing. He had to fight him. They found a way to avoid it again.
Stop ducking. One fight, Uzbek power cut.
Gutted, devastated, disappointing for boxing, disappointing Japan. Being honest with you, it's just a horrific mismatch. It's hard to say Inoue's ducking Akhmadaliev, but he actually is. Telling you now, Inoue will not fight Akhmadaliev at any point. I bet you he doesn't fight in September or December Akhmadaliev, even though he's been ordered to do it. And I bet he vacates the belt as well. 4 fight fans in Japan, 4 fight fans around the world. The only fight that is competitive at 122.
The word ducking was repeated so often that it almost became accepted as fact by the time the fight finally happened.
Next, September.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Inoue against MJ is one of the best fights in boxing. And I have to respect Inoue for taking it because the people around him didn't want to take that fight. And I kind of feel like I goaded them enough to take it. And I'm very pleased they took it because I see it as a 50-50 fight. Two best fighters in the division, the best fight in the division. And we're looking forward to being in Japan in September 1st.
See him landing that punch with Inoue. His favorite punch is his left uppercut to the body. And he is accurate with it. And he knows when to throw it. That's why he lands it. He throws it off a trap. To take a little step back, get you to come in, make you miss, and hit you with the uppercut to the body. MJ does have his shortcomings. When he's going in and out, I notice sometimes he'll go straight back a little bit too much. And Inoue is really good at making you pay a price for that. If he sees you go back too far on that line, he's going with you. And he's going to make you pay because you're still on that line. You're not off that line. You're still in his target, in his sights. I can't see, unless he hurts him, how he could be busy enough at the end of the day to accumulate enough rounds, enough points to beat Inoue, who will be busier. But I think he could be.
Akmadaliya entered the ring believing he had already won half the battle psychologically. But once the bell rang, control shifted quickly. Naoya Inoue stayed composed in the early exchanges, absorbed the pressure without rushing, and began targeting the body with short, precise shots. They didn't look dramatic on their own, but they slowly changed the tempo of the fight. By the 5th and 6th rounds, Akmadaliya was working harder than he expected just to stay in range. Every time he landed something meaningful, Inoue responded cleaner and sharper. It wasn't explosive domination, it was technical suffocation. And that was devastating for a fighter who built his identity around exposing fear, because the longer the fight went on, the clearer it became that there was no fear to expose.
Anyway, pound for pound, in my eyes, number 2 takes on Akmadaliya. Incredible fight. Eddie Hearn has been pushing the idea of Akmadaliya versus Inoue for, I'll say, the best part of the year. That happens in the early hours of Sunday morning. I've heard nothing. Honestly, in my head, I remember seeing someone talk about a check weight a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, what? Inoue's fighting? Like, I genuinely forgot Inoue, pound for pound, number 2, one of the biggest stars in boxing, is fighting Akmadaliya. And this is Inoue's 3rd fight of 2025, and I'm hearing, if he ices Akmadaliya, we could see Inoue before the end of the year again. 4 fights in 2025. Prospects aren't doing that. Prospects aren't doing that. Inoue, pound for pound, number 2. One of the greatest fighters of this generation is about to have his 3rd fight in a year. And it's against a legit guy that could cause him.
Luis Neri gave Naoya Inoue a completely different challenge.
To fight, we want the monster. He's not a monster. He's a little monster.
He dropped him. For a moment, the critics got what they wanted, proof that the monster could be shaken. But what followed is what separates elite fighters from dangerous ones. Naoya Inoue didn't unravel. He recalibrated, tightened his defense, sharpened his counters, and began applying pressure in the opposite direction. By the time the fight ended, the knockdown felt like a spark that only made his response even more devastating.
Yeah, the power that he possesses, but it's not a thumping power, it's that explosive speed, that explosive power, the footwork, he gets in position, and all of a sudden he's landed 3, 4, 5 shots and then he's angled off. A lot like I did in my fight against Lopez.
I have very fast. Yeah, it's a compensation. It's a very strong guy.
Big crowd, doesn't he? He's an absolute superstar in world boxing. And this was another exquisite performance.
Rayon Cardenas had his moments too. He clipped Naoya Inoue and tried to push the pace early. Analysts pointed to those exchanges as evidence that pressure and timing could trouble him. But once Inoue settled into his rhythm, the difference in sharpness was clear. His counters grew more precise, angles cleaner, and the finishing sequences weren't rushed, they were methodically constructed. And that's the pattern. The mistake isn't believing you can beat Inoue, every challenger should believe that. The mistake is thinking you've already solved him before the fight begins. Once he starts reading you, the fight shifts from competition to calculation. He doesn't need wild exchanges to win. He doesn't need to dominate from the first bell. He just needs time to understand your rhythm, and once he does, the outcome usually follows the same pattern. Early confidence fades, pressure becomes work, and the man who came in expecting control finds himself reacting instead of dictating. You feeling that?
I feel good, ultimately, I mean, it is what it is. You know, whatever the outcome of the fight happened, but I feel good. I feel excited. I'm just happy. I'm blessed to be here. And I mean, again, the best is fighting the best, brother. That's what boxing should be about.
Did you feel you had him out in that second round? Because he dropped really bad.
Honestly, bro, I didn't see the knockdown. I didn't see the knockdown. I hit him and I just hear everybody kind of fucking start screaming and stuff. But I noticed it when I walked off, you know, like when I turned around. But other than that, I mean, again, you know, I don't know how to explain it. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you hit a home run, you know you hit a home run, you walk off. For me, it was the same. I hit him and I knew he was gonna go down, so I walk off. But he got up like a true warrior that he is, and
that's why the disrespect angle keeps backfiring. It builds momentum before the fight, but it also builds expectation. And when the champion refuses to crack under that expectation, responding with composure instead of emotion, the narrative collapses inside the ring. Stephen Fulton believed technique would neutralize him. Akhmadaliev believed power and pressure would break him. Luis Neri believed vulnerability had finally been exposed. Rayon Cardenas believed he'd seen the blueprint. All of them learned the same truth: Naoya Inoue isn't dangerous because he's reckless. He's dangerous because he adjusts faster than you can. And once that adjustment happens, the fight stops being about what you promised, it becomes about what you can survive.